Hello friend, and welcome to Mount Panorama for another round of high-speed EV endurance racing. I'm Grandpa Goes Gaming, and this is the slowest sim driving channel on YouTube. The drivers have to get these cars around this track for 40 minutes with just a single pit stop. Not an easy task, but a 1-2 lockout from qualifying with the two Escuri cars. Dr. Pepsi was on pole, but Tweetman made the better getaway. We've got Brentnell in third, myself there in fourth. Then we've got Ollie, Chim Chaser, John Boy at the back. I expect John Boy to push through though, because he is a very fast driver. And Tweetman immediately overtaken by Brentnell, who is a guest driver. He's not part of the league, so he might be struggling with this because it looks like he's using a lot of energy early on. Tweetman is the event organizer and very much an EV endurance specialist. He'll be able to manage the power very well. You don't want to go off full bolt straight away, and we can expect pit stops to be around 50% of the way through the race. Some drivers like to pit early for a faster first stint, some will pit late for a faster second stint, but Dr. Pepsi there under threat from me, but Ollie saw the move, snuck underneath, slipped his way past Ollie up into fourth place. Brentnell, oh no, I thought Brentnell was out wide, but it wasn't. Who is it? It's Tweetman. Tweetman has dropped it. So very early on, the favourite to win the race, Tweetman, in the wall with a penalty, and that's going to change the complexion of this race. Brentnell leads the way. Ollie second. Ollie's had a bit of a rough time during our endurance events, but he's really on the ball right now. Let's hope he's not going to be overcooking that battery, because there's a long way to go. Ollie, Dr. Pepsi and Chimp Chaser are battling it out. Both very fast drivers. John Boy, the big rival to Tweetman, is there in fifth place, and he's looking for a way through on Chimp Chaser at the moment. It's a very busy first lap. John Boy trying to go around the outside of Chimp Chaser. Yeah, forces Chimp Chaser to go to the slower, tighter line. John Boy up to fourth. He's a very canny driver, and these drivers are going to be looking for slipstream wherever they can find it to save battery. These ID.Rs punch a big hole in the air, and that's great for saving battery. And right now John Boy tucked up behind Dr. Pepsi, who's another very fast driver. It's a good field. It's a good strong field, this. John Boy's car jinking as he applies the brakes. It looks like he's content right now to just sit behind Dr. Pepsi, save some battery, perhaps give himself a little extra power later on for a dive. Up at the front, Ollie has hunted down Brentnell, and Ollie looking for a pass. Looks like he's going for a banzai first stint, followed by a slow second stint. Oh, Brentnell's off. He's off and he's into the wall. So Brentnell with a penalty for hitting the wall, and he's lost first place as well. Ollie leading the way, and Ollie, one of our regular drivers, he knows how to handle these cars. So Dr. Pepsi could be up for a second place. I just saw in the background there, John Boy has a penalty for tapping a wall. So John Boy is going to be falling back, perhaps into the clutches even of Tweetman. Let's see where this is going to bring him out. But Chimp Chaser up into fourth, myself up into fifth. Where's Tweetman? I think Tweetman's still a long way back, because that was a pretty costly accident he had earlier. There he is. Tweetman is going to be content to sit in John Boy's slipstream, I think. Give himself some extra power for later on. Dr. Pepsi's starting to reel in Brentnell now. I think perhaps Brentnell has realised that the car's not going to get him as far as he expected it to. Oh, Dr. Pepsi's out wide. That gives Chimp Chaser a chance to slip underneath him into third place. Dr. Pepsi's going to try and gather himself up. He's going to lose another place to me. And there we go. That's a Grandpa up to fourth. And who knows, this could be a good race for me. Fingers crossed, eh? Well, everything crossed at the moment, I think. Dr. Pepsi, though, is not going to give that one up. John Boy with Tweetman for company. This is going to be really interesting strategy-wise for Tweetman, because he could be content to try and follow John Boy through. But Tweetman does like to control the pace of these races, so is he going to try and get past with a little bit of extra power? That's going to be fascinating as it unfolds, but look out, John Boy is catching Dr. Pepsi. We know John Boy and Tweetman are ridiculously quick. Dr. Pepsi also very quick, so, well, if this is anybody's guess what's going to happen here, I think perhaps Dr. Pepsi is being held up by the Grandpa-mobile there. Dives to the inside, doesn't get the pass made. That's going to put John Boy alongside him, I think. It's got a long run down here. Tweetman just being dropped at the back. He's decided to conserve some energy. Looks as though Tweetman started to use some extra energy, and he's putting himself back into contention. Looking around, John Boy there. And Tweetman is doing the maths, working out how long this battery can go. Of course, the drivers can lift and coast. They can use just a little bit of throttle and regenerative braking as well. So there's lots of tools at the disposal of the drivers, but this is anything but a flat-out race to make it to the end. If you tried to go flat out, you couldn't do it in one stop. That wouldn't work. But the drivers have had a couple of races now to get bedded in to this series, to figure out what their best strategies might be. And right now we're in a bit of a phase where everyone's just saving energy just to work out how best to get to the pit stop. And of course, it's not just a case of 50-50ing the race. It's a 19-lap race. Drivers have got to work out where that one extra lap is going to be. John Boy starting to harass Dr. Pepsi. He's trying to get away from Tweetman. He doesn't want his race to be slowed down or compromised by the 7th place driver. So he's going to want to get past as quickly as he can. Oh, Dr. Pepsi's out wide. Dr. Pepsi understeered off at the last corner. So the drivers who started first, second on the grid are now last and second to last. Oh, but Tweetman is trying to remedy that. He sweeps past John Boy, and he's going to be trying to make his way to the front of the field without using too much energy. Tweetman going purple on this lap. He's setting the timing sheets alight, but too wide there. Compromises himself, puts John Boy hot on his heels. And Tweetman now with a fight on his hand. We're coming up to a very long straight with a lovely slipstream. John Boy could be on to make a move against Tweetman. Here he comes. It's like John Boy is just easing that car down there, making use of the slipstream to save some energy. Got to pick and choose your battles in this series. And John Boy's battle right now is going to come later on in the race, I think. Speaking of battles, it looks as though Ollie's eased off to save energy, and that's put Brentnell back on him. Also allowed Chim Chaser and myself to start catching up. So Ollie doing some frantic maths, trying to work out if he can get to the pit stop. And Brentnell purple on this lap, so he's desperate to get back into first place and control the pace of this race. Ollie sits on the apex, doesn't allow him through. These two could slow each other down, allowing third and fourth to catch up even further. Ollie's out wide. Brentnell's stuck his nose in well. Doesn't quite make it work. That slowed them both down. Really, they need to resolve something here because, you know, the first and second places could be under threat. Chim Chaser, we've seen lead racers before, so we know he can do it. He can get up there. He can make the pass. And right now, it looks as though he's even dropping me. So Chim Chaser smells blood in the water, and he's starting to put his foot down a little bit. Well, John Boy switched strategy. He's going for a super power saving run, and Tweetman on the other hand is using the energy. He's caught up to fourth place. He's going to have a go at me, which shouldn't be too difficult. We know Tweetman's strategy. He just gets alongside me and barges me off the track. That's just his way of doing things. Old rivals, it's all good. And it looks as though he's going to get it done very soon, probably under braking somewhere down the descent. But you need your aero really switched on here, and you know, it's just not easy to follow in these cars. As I said earlier, a big hole punched in the air. The Tweetman dives to the inside. Bit of a nudge. It's all good. It's all fair, I suppose. I'll let it get away with it. So Tweetman up to fourth place. We've got Chim Chaser just up ahead, but Chim Chaser Oh, we caught Brendel. Brendel had a penalty. So the driver who was challenging for first place drops to 5th. That puts myself in 4th, right on the back of Tweetman. Trying to use his slipstream, trying to stay with him. But again, through these slow corners, there's just no aero when you're behind somebody. No downforce. So Tweetman starting to pull away, moving up to Chimp Chaser in 2nd place. Tweetman absolutely on it. He's fast, but is he too fast at this stage? We're only 8 laps in, we're not quite halfway through yet. So this could come back to bite him later on. It probably won't, but we'll wait and see. Once again, Tweetman purple. He's pushing hard. The tyres will be starting to feel it. The energy will be starting to wear off. Who knows? Perhaps Tweetman's on a good strategy. Perhaps he's not. We'll find out in about 10 laps, I suppose. Going up the inside of Chimp Chaser. Chimp Chaser a lot more gentle on the throttle up there. So Tweetman into 2nd. He's got his fellow Scott up ahead in 1st place. Oh, Chimp Chaser coming back at him though. And that's put him offline, and he's now under threat from the Grandpa-mobile. So it's not all plain sailing for Tweetman. We've got Brendel in the background there. Brendel using a lot of energy to catch up. So this pack has really closed up. And oh, Tweetman out a little wide. And Brendel has missed. Oh, I thought he'd missed the pit lane, but he hasn't. He just made it in. It's a bit of a rough entry at this pit lane if you get it wrong. And there we go, up to 3rd place for myself. Tweetman suddenly finds himself in a position he's not used to, which is being overtaken by me. Dr. Pepsi a long way back. I think he's struggling with this track and car combination. But John Boy has got past Brendel in the pits. In fact, while I've been watching this battle, Chimp Chaser has slipped into 1st. I'm not sure if Ollie made a mistake. But at this point in the race, the drivers now know how much energy they've got left to make it to the pit stop. So drivers who've got a little extra can start giving a little extra throttle. And those who are struggling are going to start to back up. And I think perhaps Ollie burnt a lot of energy to begin with. And maybe Ollie's a little bit short. The pit window is open. Most definitely you can pit now and then make it to the end. Oh, it looked like Tweetman was having a look there. Darting left and right, looking for a way past. We get a good slipstream down here. Is Tweetman going to be pitting this lap? Now those cars are surprisingly loud when you get close to them like that. Is the move on? It is not. So Tweetman stuck in 4th, losing time. This is going to allow John Boy to start wheeling him back in. His energy saving tactic. Tweetman and myself both going past, both going for that extra lap. Ollie did burn a little much energy at the start, a little much. That's about right. So he's got to go into the pits now. That's his one stop. Myself up into 2nd. Tweetman there in 3rd. And it looks as though Chimp Chaser's a little slow at the moment. Perhaps he's now recalculating the energy as well. Tweetman left and right, just looking for any way through. He's going to go under brakes here into turn 2. There we go. Can we hang him around the outside? Great wheel-to-wheel racing. But Tweetman does make it through into 2nd place. Now he's going to start trying to chase down the Chimp Chaser. Can we perhaps slow him down with a few lunges and dives here and there? Well, it doesn't look like it. Tweetman is so good at energy saving. And, well, he's just proved that he's got more to spare in his pocket. Chimp Chaser off at the side of the road. Chimp Chaser run out of energy. He's miscalculated. So Chimp Chaser down to 3rd. Tweetman becomes the race leader. But he's not having it easy. We're not letting him have it easy. Staying with him, staying on the back of him. It's a battle for 1st place. But is it enough? I mean, Ollie, was his strategy right? Is he going to have to maintain 1st place after the pit stops? Or is Tweetman, our new race leader, net? I'm sure we're going to find out very soon. Rear wings open there with the DRS. Surely this is going to be a pit stop for both myself and Tweetman. Is it a race for the pits? Who can get in there and out there first? Approaching the pit entrance now. Tweetman in. Here goes Tweetman. Here comes me. Oh, missed. Missed the pit lane. Try again. Stuck. Oh no. In the wall. That's ruined the battle for the lead. And unable to get that all-wheel drive monster squared up and off the grass. Go on. Get in the pit lane. Oh no. It's a disaster. It's all gone horribly wrong. We've Austin Powers the car and then been reset on the straight with no energy. An absolute disaster. We've got John Boy in the lead. At this time, Chim Chaser's retired the car because, well, he ran out of energy. He was well out of contention. John Boy, it seems, had an extra lap of fuel from that very slow run he was doing. And that's myself retiring the car as well, out of energy. So absolute disaster for myself and Chim Chaser. Glory days and open road for John Boy. Tweetman managing to get out into second place, so his run was fast. But what's going to matter now is how's it going to go at the end of the race when John Boy has more energy than Tweetman. Incidentally, Tweetman there getting a penalty isn't looking like it's going to be too much of an issue because Ollie behind also has a penalty. So, well, the collection of this race has changed in a big, big way. Dr. Pepsi's on a massive energy save run as well, so perhaps he's going to have a lot of energy at the end of the race. But has he already lost too much time? So John Boy approaching the pit lane now. Is he going to take a very late dive into the pits? I think this is it, yep. So, John Boy, where's he going to come out in relation to this man, Tweetman? Tweetman just coming past the pit lane now. John Boy still stationary. So it looks as though Tweetman is going to be back in the lead of this race. There he is. Ollie still second. John Boy still in the pits. Is Brendel going to get past as well? He's not. Here comes John Boy emerging from the pits. He needs to get up to speed. Use that extra energy he's got now to try reeling in Tweetman. And this is where those different strategies, those different styles of driving are going to start to come into play. As we see John Boy here with the most energy in the field right now. So will Dr. Pepsi be when he comes out of the pits, but he's a long way back. So John Boy can start really getting the hammer down. Of the top three, Ollie has the least energy available. There's Ollie. And then Tweetman, somewhere in between. Well, he's going to want to pull out something absolutely magical because John Boy should theoretically be consistently faster every lap now to the end of the race. Tweetman, 5 laps to go. Ollie seems to be catching him, and Tweetman's understeered. He's understeered off. Ollie's done the same. Ollie makes it through, but Tweetman all at sea there, unable to get the car moving again. And that could be huge for this race because he's just lost a lot of time to John Boy. We haven't seen John Boy coming over the rise yet, but there he is in the background. So John Boy, the driver with the most energy of the top three, is closing in the background. The laps are going to start ticking down. Is Ollie serving his penalty? He's going to slip into the slipstream now of Tweetman up ahead. But John Boy really not far behind. He can see his targets. He doesn't need to be watching his timing. They're right in front of him. This could be a bit of a nail-biting finish coming up. John Boy's really motoring. He's really catching these drivers up. We've got all three of the drivers in shot there. Oh, Ollie's out wide. That's going to put John Boy right on him. And John Boy may begin to start feeling the effects of that slipstream dragging him in. The only kind of boost these cars have got is the DRS, which you can see John Boy using in a very precarious part of the track there. Drivers have to be very, very careful not to scrub off all of the aero from the back end because they will spin the car, and look how close the top three are. Oh, he's got a penalty. Well, that's Ollie's charge over. I think that's going to be it's going to put him too far out for the race win. It's going to come down to John Boy and Tweetman, as it has so many times on this channel. I think Tweetman might be sandbagging a little bit, saving energy at this point, because he's got to do something to make up for the deficit he's got to John Boy. A whole lap's extra energy is a big deal on any track. So, well, what's going to happen? John Boy right behind Tweetman, about to cross the line for lap 16 of 19. It is on. We have a race for the lead. So John Boy there doing a 152, Tweetman doing a 153.5. I don't know if Tweetman's got an answer for the John Boy threat. The driver was so slow earlier on, he was just saving energy all the way. And now, well, you can see that paying off. So, an interesting strategy. 3 different strategies in the top 3, and this is what it's all come down to. Dr. Pepsi just made it past Brentnell, so he's using that extra energy that he's got. But I think 4th is going to be as much as Dr. Pepsi can manage in this race, unless Ollie runs out of energy. Maybe even Tweetman or John Boy. I don't think John Boy's going to run out of energy. He's got loads, but he really is using it right now. He's going for the pass, looking up that left hand side, doesn't make it through. Not a lot you can do with extra energy in this part of the track. This is all about car control. But then we're going to come up to that long dog leg on the right of the mini map in the top corner there, and that could be John Boy's moment. Here we go, DRS open on both cars. They charge down the straight. Here comes John Boy, edging ever so slowly closer to Tweetman's car. There's going to be some frantic maths going on behind those wheels right now as to what can be spent and what must be saved. Generally, when these cars arrive at the checkered flag, they have absolutely nothing left in the batteries. Oh, John Boy out wide. John Boy pushed a little bit too hard. The tyres starting to go off. He's going to have to do all of that again, and I'm sure Tweetman is going to be breathing a massive sigh of relief at this point. He's going to be hoping that John Boy does that a couple more times perhaps. Lap 17 of 19. Dr. Pepsi has just dropped out with a connection issue. Yeah, it's just like real world racing. You get all kinds of failures here as well, so you know, it's not as cut and dry as you might think. That promotes Brentnell back to 4th. We've only got 4 of the 7 starters still going in this race. It is essentially an endurance race after all. But Tweetman, if he had mirrors, they would be full of John Boy, but I can assure you these cars do not have mirrors. So all Tweetman can do is watch the track map, watch the timing, and know that John Boy is right there in his slipstream, perhaps even saving energy right now for a late lunge. A nice long straight for John Boy to use, but Tweetman, he's got the power down. John Boy purple, which at this stage of the race is pretty impressive. Of course, burning off the battery doesn't make the car any lighter. The tyres are going. This just means that John Boy now is starting to use all the resources he's got available to him as he attacks Tweetman for first place. Both cars looking very stable, both very experienced drivers. John Boy, when's he going to make his move? He's starting to jink left and right. He's starting to look for a way through. Tweetman under massive pressure at this point in the race. Just a lap and a third left. Brentnell pits for the second time, so that means he'll be disqualified from the running order. That means we're only going to have, at the moment, a maximum of 3 ranked finishers. That's incredible. What a race of attrition this has been. Here comes John Boy. He's closer than he's ever been. This is his penultimate time on this straight, so Is he going to make the move now, or is he going to wait so that Tweetman can't get him back? He knows Tweetman is a good overtaker and he's a fast driver, so he's going to have to do something major and permanent to get the win here. Or is he trying to force Tweetman to use too much energy and perhaps even run out? Well, your guess is as good as mine. We're about to start the last lap, and I think this battle is going to take us all the way to the checkered flag. John Boy a little bit slow through there, perhaps not having the downforce he needed to follow that closely. But this is his last chance, the last lap. Tweetman doing an incredible job of staying ahead. John Boy doing a great job of matching him, and his purple once again. Both of these drivers now giving it everything they've got. There's no need to be saving battery, because at the end of this lap it's all going to be over. Just use whatever you've still got. And this is fascinating. Oh, Tweetman out wide. Tweetman's understeered. John Boy alongside around the outside. Can't quite do it. Couldn't keep his foot in there. But that goes to show how vulnerable Tweetman is and how hard he's pushing. What a great shot of these two going through there. Such high speed. These are incredibly fast cars. These, of course, built as time attack cars. Not really built as endurance cars. Down and down we go. Both drivers got to be so careful not to make any mistakes here, because any mistake at all, even just going offline a little bit, is going to cost them the win. This is the longest straight section on the track, and this is John Boy's big chance to get past. Is he going to make a move? Staying in the slipstream, getting all the speed he can. He's probably going to try and go under braking, almost pushing Tweetman. He's so close. Tweetman holds his line, then goes defensive. He's going to try and force John Boy around the outside. John Boy can't get through there. Trying to go up the inside there. Oh, up on the curb. And that's a penalty for John Boy. He's got a penalty for going over the curb. That surely hands the victory to Tweetman, who's given it everything he's got. Full beans. John Boy comes home in second place. That's going to be Ollie out of energy in third. Brent Null is qualified from the standings. So Tweetman wins in Bathurst in very spectacular style. Tweetman and John Boy there, first and second. What a show they put on. Well, we lost a few drivers along the way, but in the end it was a spectacular nose-to-tail finish. Tweetman taking victory in the end. John Boy barely missing out there. Two very different strategies. One very big battle. Thank you for joining us for this race. Hope you join us for more races in the future. Until then, bye bye for now.